Hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people, and welcome to the Money Fronts season of Will It Off-Road at the Races. So, if you're new to the channel, or if you've just not seen this particular variation of Will It Off-Road before, every time there's an update, we take most of the cars, if not all of them, and we test them on the mountain to see which ones can get up the mountain quickest, and with the least trouble. Or with the most trouble sometimes, because that can be a lot of fun. And then at the very end of the season, once we've got everything tested, we take the two fastest and we take the two slowest and we race them up and down the mountain. Pretty much all the rules of like people having to stay behind me are gone, because obviously what would be the point of that? You know, I can just go really slow and keep them all behind me. But we race all in the same car, let's say model of car. The basic rules are if you knock somebody off the mountain, you got to stop and wait for them to catch up. No intentional takeouts, that type of thing. Everybody has to be in the same car. If you don't own it, pick the stock one, and then we do it as a GTA race so that people can borrow an upgraded one. And if they have to respawn, that way they're in the right car. If they're in the wrong car, they have to wait for everybody else who's in the right car to finish. That's what we're offered at the races. And you can take part by joining the Vainglorious Discord server. Not only in our racing videos that come up like twice a year, though it's going to be 3 times this year. Ooh, you're in for a treat. We're going to be doing it in the snow this year. For the first time ever, we're going to race. We've already picked some cars. Hey, look, there's a Vainglorious link, Discord link right now. We've already kind of picked the 4 cars we're going to do. Kind of decided on it. It's not going to be the 2 fastest, 2 slowest ever in Will It Off-Road, because the slowest ones would probably not get up the mountain in the snow, because they struggle to get up the mountain in dry conditions. But anyways, so yeah, it's a lot of fun. But you can also join us for all of our regular community videos. Anytime you see people with me in a game, it was probably scheduled, including my garage tour videos, the people in the background that aren't NPCs. Those are people in the Vainglorious community, and we hang out and we have a lot of fun. And we'd love to have you. Even if you don't play GTA on PC, we would still absolutely love to have you join us. We have a lot of different gamers, about 350 of us now. Every platform you can imagine, playing every type of game you can imagine. Just a chill, kind of laid-back server, not the most active place in the world with a big sit, so you can kind of keep up with the conversation if you look away for 5 minutes. Which, in my opinion, kind of nice. I moderate for some big discords, and yeah, you look away for just a minute, and people have moved on. So, in the top left, we have Commander Hobo's point of view. In the center, which I can't really see because my microphone is blocking his car almost entirely, unfortunately, is Charlie. And then over on the right is British Brandon, aka Raven. And the only other person with us that you don't see a perspective from is Sven. He doesn't record, and that's just fine. I don't expect people to. If they can, and they can give you the footage, it's awesome. When this video goes live, we will have just done this like 23 hours ago, 24, 25. Wait, no, I can't. I don't know. It'll be a number, 23 hours ago, yeah. It's 2:30 in the morning for me. I had a lot of problems with my microphone before I could record this voiceover. And I think it's fixed. This is only like my 8th time doing this. I'm going a little mad watching the same thing. So, for Money Fronts, our 2 fastest and our 2 slowest. The 2 fastest were the Karin Woodlander HSW, which you will see next week. And then the police bike, but you cannot race police vehicles. Oh, hey, Hobo. Since you can't race police vehicles, we went to the 3rd fastest, which is the Everon, which you will see right after this. And then in last place was actually the Walton L35 Drift, but I promised everybody that if it came in last, I would not subject them all to racing up the mountain in drift trucks. It would have been fun for about a minute and a half as we all crashed into each other, but then when things really started getting narrow, I think there would have been a lot of unintentionally knocking people off the mountain, and that would have just been frustrating for everybody because you'd have to stop and wait, and plus if you're the person that gets knocked off the mountain, then you got to go back up in a drift truck. You know, easily could have been like a 45-minute run just up with everybody in a drift truck. So we didn't do that, so you're looking at this car instead, the Tampa GT HSW. And then next week we will see the Ennis Hardy, the third slowest vehicle up the mountain from Money Fronts. And yeah, if I haven't mentioned it already, it's just a ton of fun because as you've been able to see from Sven and Charlie's perspectives, everybody has like their own preferred shortcuts and things like that. And I'm going to go ahead and get my race car driver excuse out of the way right now. I don't know all the shortcuts, and as we call them, Sven lines, because he's the one who found a lot of them and took the big risks in the races as well as when we're just testing vehicles. I don't really know them all that well, like where they are and like how to pull them off. I'm starting to sound like Gruffy with his excuses about not getting time to practice. But I don't, since in regular World Off-Road, I have to follow these set course. Oh, well, that sucked. I just spun out. Since I have to follow these set course, I don't get to do the shortcuts, so I never get a chance to learn them. And when I'm narrating this video, I'm trying to, oh, hi, Charlie. We just kind of booped our snoots there. Wait, right? Yeah, snoots. Noses. Booped our snoots. Yeah, I'm trying to watch like 4 perspectives at once, failing miserably because I'm not really commentating on anything except a major crash. Oh, is that 2 of them? So, also, getting these things perfectly synchronized is such a pain. I've mentioned it before. There's just no way to keep it in perfect sync. Even when I go through and lock it all down to 60 frames per second, it still winds up getting out of sync by the end of the race by sometimes up to a second or 2. So if things aren't like the timers or if the crash wasn't perfectly in sync, that is why. So just like in regular World Off-Road, we go up the mountain for an ascent, and then we come back down for the controlled descent in World Off-Road. But obviously to do our damage descent, which is what you see at the end of each run, we have to drive back up. So you get to see both ascents. And then the 2 variations on going down the mountain. The first one you've already seen was the racing version of the controlled descent, though some people weren't really all that much in control. Not going to name any Raven names in the top right-hand corner, British Brandon names, because that would just be rude to call Brandon out that way. But I would never do that to Raven. But, yeah, not so much control sometimes. And now me, on an ascent, a part of the mountain that I used to struggle with a lot in just testing, because it's really weird right there. There's like a strange little bump that doesn't look like it's there, but it's there. And it caught me for the first time in a very, 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 very long time. And that just cost me a tremendous amount of time. And let's see, so I'm currently in 3rd. So that means Finn is in 4th and he's behind me. Yeah, okay. That's important. That bit of information is important because something's going to happen here that's going to impact what happens at the end of this race. Right up here, I think it's right here. Is it right here? Okay, I thought it was right here. It's not right here. It's in the next tube. In the next tube, I'm going to have a bit of a calamity, nearly fall off, manage to save it, but then I'm going to be blocking the path entirely. And Sven tries to go around just as I go to move, and I knocked him down and he had to respawn. And the problem with having a race that goes back and forth over the same path, that right there, I managed to get back up, but then to not fall down the other side, I had to stop and be very careful. And go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and then yeah, as I pull forward, Sven tries to cut around and clipped me, and he had to respawn. And because the checkpoints are now so far apart, because you can't get checkpoints too close together in a race in the Job Creator, going up the second time, the checkpoints are really oh, poor Hobo. I didn't see what happened. Oh, I wish I would have been watching. I'm going to have to rewatch that after I get done with this. But yeah, the checkpoint that he had gone through was really far back, so he lost like a minute. Even though he had closed that gap to me, he's now, you can see his dot way back there. And I don't know why I am failing so miserably in getting this car up the side here. It's just not like me at all. So Charlie has a pretty decent lead, it looks like. I'm leaning to the left to see around to see where he is. It looks like he has a fairly good lead on Hobo. And then Sven has a not too big of a lead on Charlie. So, or not Charlie, Raven. There we go. Oh, it's cool. I can see myself go flying off on Raven's footage. So yeah, the thing is, I normally go off that ramp for our regular testing, but you actually, because of that boost, you want to go off that right-hand side, because if you can get just the right angle, you can sail past all of this, because you'll land on a smooth bit that's a little farther to the right than where I landed. Good job, Charlie. Well done. And then you'll bounce, fly through the air, and land on another smooth bit that you can then just sail down, and you'll come down like here in a quarter of the time it's taking me to get there. So yeah, definitely a thing. So when I get to the bottom, because I had knocked Sven off, I didn't want him to DNF. I felt bad. I didn't really knock him off. He was trying to overtake, and it's like, you know, if you're trying to overtake, it's your job to get around safely. I really thought Hobo was going to go through the finish line upside down. You know, it just kind of sucks because I feel bad because it was my mistake and where I was on the track that caused him to try that overtake. Yeah, I genuinely felt bad about it. So I decided I'm going to wait for him to not DNF, but then he was just like, no, go, please. Please let the mercy timer kick in. I want this to be over. So that's why I'm just sitting here for just a moment is I'm waiting. I hadn't mentioned yet that I was waiting. And when I did, he's just like, no, get it over with. End my suffering. And so I did. I ended his suffering. And that has me now watching just a few seconds of Raven tumbling down the mountain. Bless. He's... you know, I admire Raven because he always sticks it out. He always manages to find somewhere to struggle in World Off-Road. But man, he always sticks with it. But Charlie taking the win with Hobo in second, me coming in third, Sven in fourth, and Raven in fifth. And that's going to bring us to our next vehicle. The Karin Everon RS. So, not HSW. It is all-wheel drive, if I recall. You know what? It's on a spreadsheet over here on my other screen. I can look real quick. It is all-wheel drive. However, it sits really low to the ground. Even if you don't lower the suspension, it sits pretty low to the ground. It gets really caught up in the bushes really bad and can sometimes just stop you dead in your tracks. And that's never fun to have that happen. So it's a bit of a challenge to get up and down the mountain. However, for the top three vehicles, they were all 228s. The Woodlander HSW that we'll see next week was a 228.10. The police bike was a 228.11, and then this is a 228.36. And those are frames, by the way, not like 0.36 seconds. So 36 is a little over 0.5, it's probably closer to 0.6 seconds. So just crazy close times in the top three cars, and then like the next two are both 231s, and the 34 and 35 and 38. So like the top 8 cars are within 10 seconds, which is amazing. And pardon my lack of commentary for a moment, I need a drink of water. Much better. It's late. It's been a long day, and my voice is about giving out. I've recorded several other videos today as well, which is probably why my microphone, after a while, my computer's just like, yeah, I'm not really sure what to do with that USB thingy that you're yapping into anymore. I don't know, it shouldn't work that way, but it seems like it does, because computer. However, even though this truck can be a bit of a handful to drive, and it understeers and it bounces around, and it will suddenly just like find a ton of grip that it didn't have a moment ago, so then you're rocketing forward when you don't expect it, it's still more pleasant to drive than the Tampa that we were just in. By a long shot, but I just keep locking Raven. I did not do well. By the way, this is the second time we did these races. We actually did them a week ago. And this video was still going to be up today, but I had to edit it That's why I'm still up at 2:30 in the morning, because I had to wait for everybody to get their footage to upload, that takes a while. You know, when it's an hour's recording session, an hour-long video, it takes a while to upload to Google Drive, and then I have to download it. But that part's quick. But, you know, the uploading, it just takes a while. So I didn't get to a pretty late start, so I just started some other projects in the meantime, and that's why it's now 2:30 in the morning, because we had to re-record it the day before the video went live. Because last week, for some reason, OBS just decided to ignore all my settings. There is a behind-the-scenes version of this video that will go live that has our Discord conversation in it. And when I record that, oh my god, I failed going up a simple ramp. When I record that, my microphone goes to one audio track, Discord goes to another audio track, and then the game goes to another audio track. That way I can adjust the levels, bring the game volume down so it's not drowning all of us out. I can get our voices at about the same level as best I can. And no, OBS just decided it was going to put all that in one track, so it's kind of hard to hear our conversation at times because the game gets loud. Plus, you know, sweary bits happen quite frequently in Offroad, and that's why it's a behind-the-scenes version with the ads turned off. That way it can't get marked as ineligible for advertising because of all the profanity. Even though YouTube says they've relaxed profanity, I tested it and I uploaded the other one from last week, and it immediately got struck as limited or no ads, the yellow exclamation point. However, if you are a member of the Vainglorious Discord server, check the announcements channel. I did my best to mitigate any clipping that happened in the video for the audio and it would get exuberant and loud. And I uploaded that, but it's just an unlisted ad-free video on my channel. That's available to anybody on the Discord, so you can, you know, kind of get the full behind-the-scenes experience and maybe get an idea of what it's like to get that week after week. As a channel supporter, there is information in the description down below on the various ways you can support the channel to gain access to those behind-the-scenes videos, as well as some other stuff I have planned that I just still haven't gotten around to. Like I need to do an updated setup tour because my setup has changed a lot. But that's going to be a channel supporters only thing. I'm not going to put it out there for just general consumption because when I used to do them, they didn't get many views. So I figured if I'm not going to get many views, I may as well make it a thing that, you know, people are supporting the channel already, so that I don't have to worry about not getting a lot of views. You know, if it only gets 10 views because I only have 10 supporters, which is about right. I only have about 10 supporters, I think. I don't know, watch the end credits. Actually, it's 8. I have 8 supporters. Which, for a channel my size, is weird. I've never quite understood that. But anyways, I'm not complaining. I'm very grateful for what I do have. But I've just never understood why it's not a different number than that. So yeah, we have finished the first run up and down. And coming down wasn't... I mean, there were issues here and there, but... not nearly as bad. I decided I would try one of the shortcuts, but I don't know where to go to make it a shortcut, so I'm not sure that I really saved myself a lot of time there. And it messed up my line that I'm used to taking, and so I bonked into the tree. I just need to, like, go through and watch a bunch of my own Will It Offroad of the Races videos and see those lines that other people are taking. Though since Finn never records, maybe that's why he doesn't record. He doesn't want anybody seeing his lines. Though I think Charlie's learned quite a few of them as well. But they are both definitely some of the top racers in the Vainglorious community, and because of that, they'll tend to go for big risks, and they can usually make them pay off. If I tried doing some of those lines, I would be in a pile of ash somewhere at the bottom of the mountain, having blown up. It's just the reality of it. I would never ever be able to pull it off. Man, I'm not doing so high. I'm a good chunk behind third. I mean, he is 1, 2, 3 corners ahead of me. And he is getting to the straight bit where he can really put it down the power. So Not the best. However, the other two, is anybody going off the top yet? It looks like somebody's going off right now. There's Charlie's going off, and he's in second, so Sven is going off. Let's see what type of run Charlie gets. Going down, I'm leaning to the side. See, Charlie's got, in fact, I like being a little bit more to the right than he got, because then you miss the bit that he just hit. You'll be up on the hill, up hilltop at the right-hand side, and you can just gain a ton of speed. No monitor. I would not like to do pixel refresh, whatever you call it, pixel cleaning. I have this little image in my mind of a little person inside my monitor that grabs each pixel and spit shines it. I know that's not what happens. I don't really know what pixel cleaning means. I just know that every 8 hours my monitor's just like, would you like me to do that? And I'm just like, no, I'll do it before I go to bed, thanks. So yeah, you can see it right there ahead of me. Like, if you can land this just right, you'll bounce here and you'll get, I almost made it. You'll get over to that other hilltop and then you can just sail. But you can see just how much I caught up to Hobo just by getting that first bit in the air. I mean, it makes a huge difference. A huge difference. Granted, Hobo was having a little bit of an issue anyway. Not knocking the guy. It's the damage descent. You're going to have issues down here. The stunt camera does not help. I really think that next time around, I'm just going to strip out all the props, convert it back just to a normal land race, because I hate the freaking stunt camera. It is so disorienting, especially here in this area where it makes you do a lot of really tight flips and things. It's just, it is unpleasant. So it looks like Sven took the win. Charlie's taking second. Hobo, unless something major goes wrong, is going to take third. I don't know. It's been more than 5 minutes ago. I don't really remember who finished where. What I do remember is that I need to say thank you so much for watching today. I know there are thousands of things that you could have watched on YouTube and other ways you could have spent your time today. And you chose to hang out with us while we did silly races in wildly inappropriate vehicles in a setting you would normally not race. And I greatly appreciate it. Oh, rip Raven. That sucks. But yeah, until next time, I'm Brandon, reminding you to stay tuned for the leaderboard and to stay vainglorious.